Hello, welcome to Cube Puzzle Fun. This is a YouTube channel where I attempt to explain to folks how to do these twisty puzzle things in language that is easy to understand. Here on Cube Puzzle Fun, we don't use a whole lot of abbreviations. We don't use a lot of strange Rubik's Cube language. You won't hear us saying F prime and U prime and all that stuff very often. But if you look up how to solve a Rubik's Cube, you will run across the abbreviation F2L a lot. And just in case you're wondering what that means and trying to figure out, trying to look up some information on what it's all about, this video is going to attempt to explain what that is all about. And just in case anybody is just wondering how to solve a 3x3, we have a whole series of tutorials on the easiest way to solve a 3x3, which is the layer by layer method. And there is a little teeny lowercase I popping up somewhere where you can check out the whole playlist of how to do that layer by layer. But what F2L means is solving the first two layers at the same time. A few decades ago, when people were getting into speed cubing and who can solve the Rubik's Cube the fastest, they found that for efficiency's sake, you do not need to solve like the first layer first and then take those corners that you solve back out and pair them up and put them back in. You could just go straight to pairing them up and putting them in at the same time. So that is what F2L actually means. It means first two layers. So I'm going to show you an example of what that looks like. And I'm also going to let you know that as it progresses, that becomes increasingly more difficult. When you are doing the first corner insertion with the F2L method, with first two layers, it's relatively easy, and then it gets progressively more difficult as the cube begins to fill up with things that you don't want to mess up. So for the first, let's consider this green cross that we made the top. And usually after step 2, when we get all the corners, we turn the cube over and make the top into the bottom. But for F2L, I'm going to do that now and turn over and make the top into the bottom. This whole layer going around will now be, I'll call it the top layer, and we are looking for any corner that has green on it, and particularly any corner that has green on it that is facing out rather than facing up, because here's a green on it with the green facing up, and while that can certainly be dealt with, it's easier if you find a green that just already has the green facing out. You look at that green that's facing out on that corner, and you see what other two colors does it have. It has orange and yellow. It's green, orange, and yellow. And then you will figure out where is the edge piece with those other two colors. So not green, but orange and yellow. Somewhere there's a edge piece that has orange and yellow, and let's look around to see where that actually is. It's over here. Here's orange on top and yellow on the side facing out. So let's go back and find our green, orange, yellow. Here it is. Green, orange, and yellow. Yellow was facing out, orange is facing up. That matches with what we have over here. We have yellow facing out and orange facing up. So what we could do in order to put these down into the corner at the same time rather than doing them one layer at a time is we can just duck this green, orange, yellow down while we swing this orange yellow edge all the way around to the front next to it. And when we bring that green, orange, yellow back up, these two have been paired already. Now, if you bring these over to the corner where they're going to go in the, here's green, here's orange, and here's yellow. So let's bring them over so that the green is underneath that. What you're going to want to do is swing this pair over to a staging area ready to be picked up, and bring this down to pick them up, bring this back over, and then bring them back up to the top. That's just a quick example of an F2L move where, when you're actually speed cubing, if you're really doing this for speed, you would not be flipping the cube upside down and back and up and back and all that. Your goal would be to learn how to do it without flipping the cube around, without like regripping the cube. You would just your goal would be to learn how to just do that seamlessly. And it's not always as easy as all that either. Let's look at a second example. And as I was telling you, it gets progressively harder. But here's green, yellow, red. So here's the green, and the other two are yellow, red. Let's see if we can find the yellow, red edge. We can, and it's in here. So we need to get it up to the top where we can work on it first. So that's easy enough. We bring it up so that it's up here on the top. Here's our original corner. So we need to move both of these out of the way of this whole block and bring that block back down to where it was so that our cross is undisturbed. See, now we still have our green cross. And now we need to look at this green, yellow, red and how we can pair them. The yellow is what's facing out, and the red is what's facing up, and that is what we need. Yellow is facing out over here, and red is facing up. And we also need to be aware of, if we swing this green, yellow, red down, we need to be aware of, are we bringing up a green corner that we're going to mess up if we start swinging this top all around. In this case, no, we're not, because there's no green corner down here. So we can swing this up to do our moves, and that will be fine. We swing this up to do our moves because we're ducking this down in order to bring the yellow red over to this spot and pair it up. So let's duck this down, bring the yellow red over to pair it up, and then bring this back up. Now these two are paired, and we're gonna look for where we put green yellow red, and here is where we put that. So I'm going to swing it over to a protected space, bring this down to collect them, bring this back over. Now they're collected, and when we put this back, there you go. There's an F2L where you first two layers are solved both at the same time. So hopefully that explains it a little bit. There are certainly a lot more very detailed explanations of it out there on YouTube. You can look them up if you really are into this method and want to dive deep into it. If you're into trying to solve the cube as fast as you possibly can, that's how the speed cubers have done it, using methods like this. Just a reminder, you don't have to solve the cube fast. If you just want to have fun, just have fun. Hopefully this has helped you. My rap name is Alex. This is Cube Puzzle Fun. Peace.